Whatto? Things aligned. The thumbnail. I made it all by thyself, as the YouTube algorithm tends to take a random picture from the video, then have that for the thumbnail. So go screw yourself, YouTube algorithm. I'm back, baby. So, good. I'll rest near the wall. For those of you who don't know, there's a website called watchcartoonsonline.com, a website that allows for you to watch any cartoon or film, be it a cartoon or anime. That includes all the seasons of the cartoon American Dad. The latest episode, however, no funerals and no one. The latest episode, No Weddings and a Funeral, is an episode that is based around mocking Clouse, the German man whose mind was implanted into the body of a goldfish. Over many of the seasons, Clouse was heavily mocked, either for being physically a clownfish or for being unpopular. I could have mentioned in other videos that being unpopular is not really a matter of something to be mocked over, and how being unpopular is too circumstantial, and being popular is quite overrated. I really should have scripted this video. I feel like I'm rambling. So, the episode begins as Clouse manages to... It's not actually a review, it's a complaint video, so it's more justified. The episode begins as the wife of the family, Francine, has been stopped by the man of the house, the man himself, Stan Smith. And Stan, for the record, is basically the main character, as it's an adult American cartoon, therefore the father of the house is automatically the main character, at least for 99.9% of episodes. However, for this episode, Clouse is the main character, as Clouse is the bully victim of the episode. The episode begins as the wife of the family, Francine, the character everybody should hate, has been attacked by the father of the family, Stan Smith, over what should or should not go into the waste disposal. Clouse, being occasionally annoying, manages to make a few jokes or punches at Francine verbally, as a means of trying to be cool. This, however, results in both Francine and Stan bullying Clouse by threatening to put Clouse into the waste disposal system. Over several minutes, Clouse has been crying and begging to be freed. However, despite all of their cries for help, Clouse is never actually freed. Also, the entire family, including the hateable Haley and the idiot man Jeff, even join in on the fun. The episode then has its opening, and then it skips to the main point of the episode, or it skips right into the main premise of the episode, as the character of the episode, Clouse, leaves the family to try and be his own person. In the process, Clouse has been verbally bullied or mocked by the rest of the family. To be more precise, Clouse tries to explain to the family how they are tired of being bullied, mocked, ridiculed and teased, and how Clouse will try and be living in a house far away, or living in perhaps an entirely different city. But all of their complaints are either ignored, or Stan replies, but Stan thinks that Clouse is trying to sell lemonade. Then it's revealed Haley never actually thought Clouse would actually try and leave the family. The episode then has a skip in time to when the characters have actually aged. Yes, it's an episode that partially takes a place in the future. All the characters are slightly older by several years. Stan has been divorced from Francine and has become a fat, disgusting blob of a man. Meanwhile, Francine, the annoying housewife, marries a friend of their son, Steve. Meanwhile, Steve is an overly successful business person who, as you can tell from all the other episodes, really does not deserve to be successful. And Haley and Jeff have several children. Perhaps a dozen children. I'll try and get all the way to the point, as it's already like 5 minutes into the video. First off, there's no comeuppance. I just hope that the thumbnail's been chosen. The episode then begins after the skip in time, as Clouse has taken the body of a nun to fake their own death, but instead of the death being taken seriously in the family funeral that takes place in the living room, everybody either acts like Clouse doesn't matter, or that Clouse never even existed and simply forgot Clouse was even a thing. And every time Clouse in the body of the nun, pretending to be just a normal nun, tries to get all of the family to grow up and care, Clouse was constantly shot down, especially by the most hateable character of the episode, that gormless cunt, Hayley, a character voiced by none other than Seth MacFarlane's daughter. I think the daughter. Kind of regardless, Hayley was a complete cunt in the episode. So Hayley mocks the nun as having a quote-unquote boner, an American term for an erection, as a means of mocking or as a means of not taking things seriously. Then, as Clouse and the body of the nun eventually manages to get all the family in the living room to celebrate the death of Clouse, everybody then either laughs over how Clouse was, in their opinion, their wrong opinion as well, unpopular, or their opinion is wrong as it's assuming Clouse was unpopular, or that being unpopular is a thing to mock. As the episode continues, Clouse manages to swap their body from the nun to everybody being in the body of Clouse, even though Clouse was depicted in the hologram as being completely deteriorated, and Clouse's current body, as they were all put into the body, seemed quite new. Clouse stupidly managed to put oneself into their old body, and inside Clouse's body, instead of being an actual creature, everything was more of a submarine. That's quite stupid for two reasons. First, the premise behind Clouse is that Clouse was a German person whose mind was implanted into the body of a goldfish. This premise was even extended to a different character, Reggie, the person whose mind was transplanted into the body of a koala bear that had sex with characters like Hayley, then had a fight over Hayley with Chief Inspector Bullock, voiced by Patrick Stewart, boss of the CIA. Regardless of such a thing, that's also, everything seemed like a submarine. I think that's both the reasons. The second reason, it seemed like a submarine as opposed to anything else. Therefore, it's not an animal, and it's a machine, or submarine. Then everybody manages to escape. Nearly 10 minutes. I'll try and hurry this up quite quickly. First off, there were no comeuppance. The point of a bad guy in the very end of the story of any fiction is either the bad guy is defeated and therefore punished, or the bad guy is given an arc for redemption and therefore they are not as bad, or perhaps become a sort of anti-hero. These characters, the Smith family, acted completely insane, pacifistic, carefree, and all-round stupid. To expand, the Smith family acted infinitely retarded, being completely carefree and not caring about the death of a person who is a part of their family. So carefree that the type of people to eat popcorn, like for the purposes of mockery, even though mockery is the most idiotic and stupid of all types of retardation. The constant bullying and teasing of Clouse over the episode means there's no actual room for jokes. This was made more obvious as the episode had no jokes. That ends, nobody could be able to laugh after watching all the characters bully Clouse and tease Clouse over things that are not in Clouse's control. Therefore, the Smith family, every member of the family in the episode, acted like a mindless troll. A laughing, mocking, teasing, bullying, carefree, must be exterminated troll. Those are the behaviours of the type of people that make these types of cartoons. That can be sort of explained in a different video. Clouse's attempt at rightful revenge, to have all the family mourn over their own death, followed by Clouse revealing they were alive, failed. So an attempt at perfectly justified revenge failed. The second attempt at revenge, having everybody be inside Clouse's body as the house was set ablaze, the blaze actually being an accident, also failed. In fact, everybody managed to get back together after many years of being separated for so long by joining together in their collective stupidity and mockery against Clouse. And Clouse, instead of acting smart and violently, acted instead as if being mocked was the sort of thing they should really do, and actually had tears of happiness in their eyes. It gets worse. This happens to be a reoccurring trend in a lot of cartoons, at least in American Dad and Family Guy. The constant and stupid reoccurring trend of the characters act carefree, teaseful, and mock anybody who is not popular, and all of the characters do it as a family, and then they are never given their comeuppance. This happens to be a sort of reoccurring problem in most American cartoons, or at least just in American Dad and Family Guy. Perhaps the man himself, Seth MacFarlane, has a type of mental retardation that's not been discovered. The ending. Just note. The ending. 2 attempts at making the family grow up and take him seriously have led to Clouse being further bullied and mocked. This time, it's all in the future, as there was a skip in time, as the characters, for example Steve, characters that are always depicted as being permanently young, are older, and they all join forces to mock and tease Clouse all over again. However, Clouse actually has a type of quote-unquote Stockholm syndrome to being mocked. Therefore, the ending was all the more terrible. Also, there was a skip in the time. However, they could have just had the skip, instead of taking place over the span of a few years, take place over the span of a few months, meaning there would be no lack of continuity. Granted, just like in any American adult cartoon, The Simpsons, American Dad, Family Guy, The Cleveland Show, any cartoon that's for adults, is American, is a cartoon, there is no continuity, or not very much continuity. I think that is quite lacking. For example, the continuity errors in how the future is always portrayed in The Simpsons. However, half of those are portrayed by people that all of the creators of The Simpsons tend to mock, or think aren't even real people. So, I tried to make this more like a video by H-Bomber Guy. I hate H-Bomber Guy and all those types of mockers or people. The H-Bomber Guy is kind of... I wanted this to sound more professional. But I'm quite dehydrated and it's quite late at night, so some of these hashtags will help. Hashtag End American Dad. Hashtag Justice for Clouse. First off, I'm going to touch up on a few subjects I might not have covered. Not so much about all of the episode, but more about future videos. You may have noticed I've actually slowed down in my video progression, and I've stopped making a few of the series. I've slowed down making the series that I want to make, for example, the series that's about star signs. I will continue the star signs perhaps in a week's time, so please be patient. Or patient-full. Hashtag End American Dad.